You're on the party line with Sarah and Christy. This is I'm on the Phone podcast, where we're healing out loud, sharing culty stories, and laughing at the mess along the way. So grab a coffee, a bestie, settle in, and let's talk. Hi.
Hello.
Oh my goodness. It's been a day.
Yes, already.
Oh my goodness, for sure. Coming up the holidays has been interesting this year. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've been a little different for you too, but it has been particularly different this year for multiple reasons. Oh my goodness, there's so much crap going on. Oh,
I think a good goal for us is like I don't think the holidays should be this stressful. Like, it's supposed to be fun and festive, and I've just not felt that for so long.
yeah. Well, we're still in such huge recovery modes and like in the middle of still like ongoing stuff that it's not like you can just dance on by, just you have to like still face the music that other people are playing.
Yeah.
Like what we were planning on talking about today. Sorry, my dog is deciding to just scooch his little self. He tries to scooch himself through places that are little, even though he is ginormous.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't realize how big he is.
Like he just went in and out. But he'll like try to go through like tiny little spaces. I'm like, dude, your head's bigger than that.
Yeah.
So anyways, today, Christine, we're talking about how do you know when to leave a bad situation or a toxic situation, which we have been experiencing now for the last few years.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about our experiences about that.
Yay.
And just we've had a lot of preparation, I think, and help just because both of us were listening to experts and reading after experts who help people navigate these kind of difficult situations that are often, I don't even like saying the word difficult. I'm being nice. Like they're abusive situations. Especially like coming from like the cult side of things. And honestly, because the cult has all the influence over all the relationships that have been problematic. And so it's like you can't face one without the other.
Right. Yep. Totally agree.
So anyways, I have some questions to ask. And just this is funny. We're trying a new platform today, guys, because we're having technical difficulties, and it just is what it is. I can't fix it. She can't fix it. So we're trying something new. So our apologies.
Bear with us
as we work through this. I literally just lost my train of thought. But I forgot to hit record earlier. And so some of this we've already talked about, and we're going to talk about it again. So maybe it'll be more polished. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe. Don't put that much pressure on us.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so one of the things that I have like come to solidify in my vocabulary is referring to the place that we came from, like that community. I don't call it a community anymore. I full on believe that it is a cult because it matches all the definitions.
Yep.
And it is like, I don't know of a place that's not more about power and control and hierarchy and rule following and basing what you're allowed to do on whether or not, or how well even, you follow the rules.
Yeah.
Spoken and unspoken.
Yeah.
So I was born into it. You were born into someone who kind of flip-flopped back and forth.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, both of my parents were raised in it and then sort of brought us along for their rebellious stage journey
yeah.
type thing, you know.
Yeah. I mean, and that is very confusing as a child, especially the messages that you're taught. Um, there's actually, I think, I'd have to go find the links and stuff to the research, but I've seen a lot of people talk about how these types of groups / cults literally cause brain damage because they're so abusive.
I believe it. Absolutely.
So anyways, we're not here to like pass blame or say, hey, this is your fault or anything. Like cults hoodwink people. That's literally how they keep going. They have you fooled.
Absolutely.
And that was our life.
Yeah.
Was living under that. But at some point to get here where we're at today, we had to start seeing some cracks in the foundation. And so my question to you, which I don't think I have ever asked you before, is when did that happen for you? When did you first start seeing the inconsistencies or the cracks in the foundation of what we had been taught?
Well, I think because of the fact that I was sort of not really born, I was born into it, sort of, you know. So it was more extended family who followed those really strict rules when I was a kid. But my family specifically wasn't following it until I was actually older. I saw the inconsistencies when I was a young adult, or probably 10 or 11 was when I remember thinking that's not right, you know, or I don't think that's right. And I was still sort of from the outside looking in. Like my mom allowed us to do things that her my aunts and uncles didn't allow their kids, like my cousins weren't allowed to do. And so I remember pretty young that I was just like, no, I don't think that's right. Or I don't even know that I thought this isn't Christian, you know, but that's sort of the way it was.
Yeah. But you saw that things weren't adding up.
Yeah. It just didn't make any sense to me at a really young age. And then when I realized that there had to, I really needed a way out, sort of that's how I felt in my head, because I no longer wanted to be a part of this, and I didn't want to continue with this. I was probably, I told you this before, and I'm trying to remember, I was probably 39, anywhere from 38 to 40, I guess. 38 to 40, I realized that I had absolutely no identity aside from my marriage and my family. I was not my own person. And so I knew that wasn't right. It finally hit me.
Yeah.
I don't even have an identity. I don't even have, you know, I'm acting and I'm saying and I'm doing things that I don't want to say or do or really even believe in, you know.
Right.
I couldn't say it with 100% that I knew this was the way it was. And I was judging people.
Yeah.
And quite literally telling them they were going straight to hell. I mean, that's just sort of the way they do it. And so, yeah, it was like I was a shadow of somebody else. And that was all it was. That's all it was good for.
Well, you end up becoming what other people say you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for you, and it is impossible to do. I don't care who I don't care who stands behind a pulpit and tells you it's not, or in flowery words or whatever. You cannot fit into a mold that was not created for you. It's just not.
No.
It's not possible.
Like when it comes to identity within the cult, there isn't one. The identity is the cult.
Well, especially for women, right? Like,
Oh,
if they're married, their identity is their husband. That's just the way it is, and it's not
mhm.
right. Like that. That is. It's just not right.
I mean, it's soul crushing.
It is. It destroys you. And I am living proof that it destroys you. You're like, I don't know. There's a lot that I could say. And, I would go so far as to even say that when you grow up this way, your identity is your parents. Like everything you do reflects
Mhm.
back on them. And
Yeah.
so they, from a very young age, they control you. They control your actions and your thoughts, and you can't do this is what you can do, you should do that. All of this stuff is like filtered into your head to
Mhm.
where when you get older you don't know, there's only a certain amount of things you can do, and if you step outside of that box you're a heathen, like completely and totally written off.
Yeah.
um, and you're rebellious, and you can only be a song evangelist or a preacher or a
For
missionary
a really good
or,
layman.
yeah. And it's just like, so you don't even have an identity when you get to be an adult and are going off to college,
No.
because your identity has been them. And that goes for girls and boys, I know.
Yeah,
But,
it
but then
does.
for women, when you get older and it's like the ultimate goal is to find a husband who will provide for you and your children, million children that you're going to have, then um, then your identity becomes him, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about
Yeah.
you? What was your age when you realized?
Well, excuse me. I remember when I was very little, like toddler age, having the thoughts of, if I saw someone in pants or in a wedding ring or something like that, that they were going to hell.
Yes. Yeah.
Like that was that's very early on. Obviously, I'm going to be judgmental.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but then I'm trying to think because I would ask questions and I didn't ask a lot of questions. But then I remember, like, as a little older teen, starting to ask some questions. And I think one in particular was, why can't boys wear shorts? Because they're the same length as, like, my skirt.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And when we asked that question, it was not received well. Kind of got yelled at for that one.
Makes no sense, but
Well, yeah, because there's no logic. But
no.
at that point, I was starting to see other Christians or whatever. And then one of my big things that really opened my eyes was when I was in the first Bible college I went to in Florida. Um, I ended up staying with this family who was Baptist. And it was very obvious that they were Christian. And honestly, displayed more fruit of the Spirit than anyone I had really met.
Yes.
And that was probably like the first really big jarring realization. I was also in a really bad place at that time, mentally and emotionally. But that was like so all this stuff that had been happening and leading up to it, and then like being around these people who wouldn't be allowed to do jack shit in the church that I went to, were
Yeah.
acting more Christ-like than the people I knew.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So that was like the first really big, like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But when you're in a cult, the amount of psychological control that is had over you is really mind-blowing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because you feel like, I mean, it's almost like there's an invisible leash.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you get so used to like what you described earlier, like where you're doing and saying all these things you don't really want to do or say, you don't actually believe, but you're doing it because it keeps you safe, because you know what's going to happen, what's going to be said, what's going to be done to the person who goes against that.
Yes.
Because you've watched it your whole life, you've heard it your whole life, and you've participated in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
So you know the consequence.
yeah. I mean, you literally cannot have a relationship with these people unless you are compliant to the way they want you to feel and think and act,
Mm-hmm.
and say what they want you to say. There is nothing there. They can't overlook it,
Oh no.
even though you have overlooked what they've been doing for years and years and years.
Yeah.
It's like it's one dominant over a submissive, honestly, is what it
It
is.
is. It is.
Yeah. I've thought about that a lot, actually. It's like the dominance of one personality over another. And that was never the way I feel that God intended it to be between human adults ever, or human ever. It's not a dominant over a submissive. Like,
I agree, but I don't agree that that's what the Bible teaches. Um,
you
because
think the Bible teaches dominance over submissives in the Bible?
yeah.
Okay, tell me what the context is, or what the
So
what do you
yeah, because I'm gonna. So in the Old
do you agree with
Testament,
it?
well, agree with what?
The dominance over submissive?
No,
Okay.
I don't think that's a healthy thing. That's very toxic.
So do you think that that's what God taught?
It's definitely what was taught in the Old Testament, especially for women. Um, and then when you get to the New Testament, there's arguments for like interpretations of marital relationships, but you have to really research like original language to understand um, that Paul was not preaching dominance and submission or patriarchal control, but that he was preaching like equality.
Yeah, so that's what I meant.
So there's that piece in there. It's also like extremely misinterpreted, especially in the fundamentalist world.
Mm-hmm.
So you could argue that Paul taught that, and that's fine. There's a lot that's still not like they didn't go back and say, hey, this part of the Old Testament law is no longer going to be followed. you should these are questions you have to ask. Like, you need to
Well,
find out. Like,
the dominance and submissive, like, I agree with you. What I'm saying is the God of the Bible isn't the true God, in my opinion.
well, here's I'll just leave you with
I mean,
this. I just believe the Bible was written by men who wanted
yeah,
power and control.
yeah.
It's
I'm not going to read it to them.
no, it's something that scholars can't even agree on.
Right.
Like people have spent their entire lives studying the
Yeah.
Bible
And every
and
time
trying
they
to figure
study
out what it means.
the original language to the language of that day, it does not cross over. The teachings and it doesn't cross over. So the translation is incorrect in so many
Well,
different
we have like stories that were told like 50 years after they happened that were written down and then translated and translated again and
Yeah.
translated again and
Yeah.
then translated again
And then they say
and then
that
you have kings coming in and going like, oh, well, make it this way because
exactly. And they okay, I know we need to get off this, but real quick,
well, but this is like such a deep part of like how we got where we got.
it is such a deep part of it. And the thing about it is that 50 years after they happened, it was written down, but then today it was like it was the inspired word of God. So God spoke through these men to write it down, and that makes it okay. If we would just feed into and believe that one small part of it, then we can say that these people were superhuman for the duration of them writing these down. And there's just no way, Sarah.
I know.
I mean, I'm all for believing in miracles, but it has not served humanity at all to believe in these scriptures the way that they're being translated to us. It
Right.
does not, no, it doesn't serve. The patriarchy has never served society, the human race.
Not as a whole, no. It's
No,
served.
it has served a certain race of people.
Well, it serves a certain gender, but even that, like, it's harmful to both. But one benefits more readily and therefore is willing to overlook what it's actually doing.
Yeah,
And in a lot of ways, in my opinion, it just creates monsters.
it does. It create, yeah, and you can see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's so depressing.
Like, existing as a woman in this world, period, is dangerous.
It is. I honestly do not understand why anybody ever would want to get married. Any of these young kids get it, especially young women growing up. I believe it's better than it ever has been, probably, but
I
I
know, I
didn't
feel like we've
encourage
had
my
a lot of
daughters.
regression.
Huh?
I feel like we've had a lot of regression in the
Yeah.
last, year-ish, especially.
Yeah, for sure, because they're seeing this as
It's being
giving power,
normalized.
giving power to people they don't want to have power to, which is women.
Yeah. But
So dumb.
so anyway, so back to cracks in the foundation. That was like where I saw it really big, but I went back home, back where I came from. And like I said, I had been going through some real turmoil. I did not understand everything that had happened correctly
Yeah.
as I understand it now. Like, I didn't understand because I didn't have the information.
Yeah.
I was, some really good sex ed would have helped. Like understanding
Absolutely.
consent
Absolutely.
would have been helpful.
Right.
So there was that going on, and then like I don't even know how to like what to call some of it still, like harassment of a certain level.
Yeah.
But it was extreme objectification at the very least.
Yeah.
Like, it was really gross.
Mm-hmm.
But then I go back home, and of course I'm a mess inside, but I can't talk to anybody, don't feel safe to talk to anybody. And I don't know how to process any of it. Like
Yeah.
legitimate get into like dumb relationships, like as a result of this, because I'm just kind of spiraling still.
Right.
I got saved and um, go back to Bible school, which I mean that's a whole story in and of itself. But then I get indoctrinated more. um, it's weird to think about that because like that place, I have a lot of really good memories. I learned a lot um, more about myself, I guess, as far as like it really helped me to break out of my shell of shyness. Um,
Yeah.
like like because I was in a PR team, like I was forced to be upfront and talk to
Right.
people that I don't know and all that kind of thing, like on a weekly basis for 4 years. Like it
Yeah.
was just my life. So there was good things that came from that. That's where I met my husband.
Mm-hmm.
But there was still like a lot of undercurrents there. And even now, like there's no way I would send my kid there. No way. You couldn't pay me.
Yeah. No.
So especially with like as time has passed, like I keep hearing more and more stories that come out of these Bible colleges, like not just any one particular one, it's all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're horrific.
Horrible. Absolutely.
So yeah, like I feel like being there in a way it was a little bit of a recovery just because I was able to be on my own
Yeah.
and I did feel safe. Like there was some genuinely caring people there. And see, that's like the crazy part in this cult is that there are people who are genuinely caring. And
Yeah.
so it distorts reality.
Yeah. Yeah. When you meet somebody who you feel is somewhat safe and
Yeah.
they're still in the cult, it confuses the heck out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, oh, they've really got the goods, like they
Yeah.
really got it. And like then these people, because now you're judging, like these people don't really have it, and these people do, and you
Yeah.
see all the inconsistencies. And so even like you said, I think you said you guys were allowed to do stuff that your cousins were allowed to do. Well, I mean, I was allowed to do stuff that other people in my church weren't allowed to do. And so you're constantly living in all these inconsistencies.
Yeah.
And then if you show up in whatever that thing is that other people are allowed to do, that you're going to be judged for it.
Yes.
Like I remember someone I was acquainted with as a teen would really like to rub it in people's faces that she could wear cap sleeves.
Oh.
And she was going to go trim her hair 3 inches, like
Oh,
it was
brother.
like, it was very rebellious, but I'm like, it takes normal things that there was nothing wrong with and
Yeah.
turns into this thing.
Big blown up version. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
I remember one of my friends way back when talking about her sister, who was rebellious and the sister was like married with 4 kids and a grown woman and and she was just the friend that was talking to me was just like she wears her sleeves right here and then she was just like and she has got children that are looking at her as an example and I've thought about that before and I'm like you act like you act like she's having like men over
Yeah. Like, oh God forbid they see her arm. Oh my.
That she wears sleeves a little shorter than you do. I mean, it's
Right.
so stupid. And I remember, like my mom, we could cut our hair. Not she didn't necessarily chop it off, but she like trimmed it to keep it healthy, and that was total. That was never an issue in our home. We could cut our hair if we wanted to. We could wear makeup, a little bit of makeup if we wanted to. You know, we wore flip flops in the summer and
Yes,
and
we wore
short
flip flops.
sleeves, and oh my goodness. So I was able to do a lot more than other kids, but I was also punished for it when I would go back to Bible school then in during the year. And I
Yeah.
remember not only the teachers, but like the students too, and one of them being my own cousins, your own family,
Yeah.
judging you for that, making you feel less than for being able to do something that they were not allowed to do. And it was like a sin issue. Like it
Oh,
was
yeah.
wrong, you know. And so I've had that all my life externally more, but I feel like you've had it internally more.
Mm-hmm.
Like not internally like yourself as much as like within your immediate family your whole life,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Well, I mean, honestly, it sounds really like your experience sounds similar. You were allowed to do a little bit more.
Mhm.
Like it's it's weird because like I would even observe like the questioning of like hair cutting. At least with like my mom, I was like, I'm the only daughter. And so I had really long. I know one time it got cut because I think it was in like seventh grade or something, seventh or eighth grade. I don't know, somewhere in there in middle school. And we were getting ready to go on this like big field trip to Chicago.
Mhm.
And the bus had to leave really early that morning. And she was braiding my hair, but I had slept with gum in my mouth. And it
Yep.
got stuck and we were late, like, or we were going to be late. Like, we had to go. There was no time to, like, get the
Fix
gum
it.
out.
Yep.
And she just, like, cut it right off. And I was like,
Absolutely.
it was still probably, like, below my shoulder blades, you know, like, it
Yeah.
was, but I'd never had it that long. Like, my hair was always, like, down to my butt or below. Like,
Right.
I always had really long hair.
Mhm.
It grew back, obviously. Um, but I don't really remember. I think I didn't really start trimming my hair, I think, until after I was married, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
I honestly, I'm trying to remember. I know I did start trimming it, but like, I don't think I really trimmed it much until, goodness, this is funny. I'm really having a hard time actually remembering this.
Like when you start to trim your hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because I know I did here and there, and I'd take off, like that much, like just
Yeah.
enough to cut off like the dead ends.
Right.
I think I did it once we got married. I think I did keep it kind of straight at the bottom, but it would get really long really fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, but then I started like when we lived on that campus. I know people got really upset about what I did and didn't do. And I just thought it was like so crazy that they had all those expectations of someone who was not under a contract to that institution.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
like
yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Sorry.
No, I had gotten to the point where like mentally I couldn't unsee what I saw at this point because I'm seeing all the hypocrisy and it's not like just a little thing here or there. Like I can
Right.
deal with a little thing here or there because people are people
Yeah.
and that okay, like little side note, that is what like annoys the fire out of me is people think that the way they phrase it, they minimize it and they act like what you're seeing is not that big a deal. They always make it sound like it's not a big deal. It's just like a little disagreement or whatever. I'm like, no, these are really, really big deals.
They are. Yep.
Some of them are criminal.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about little misunderstandings that you just didn't communicate well.
No.
That's not what we're talking about. Like,
No.
but that's what they treat it like.
Mm-hmm.
People like still in the cult.
Yeah.
And once you start like considering other options that have been taught against, like I know when we were considering public school, and this was after we had moved and left and everything. I ended up talking to someone, and they were, oh, you want to talk about emotional manipulation? Oh, they were just so concerned for us, and like, but also like demonizing everything about it and me.
Yeah.
Because like I was even considering it, and they're just like we don't want to see your kids go to hell and lose out and all this stuff, and I mean like, and they're dead serious.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, they are so serious.
And I'm just like,
Public school gets such a bad rap.
it does.
It really
It's
does.
been the best decision we've ever made.
Yeah, it is unfounded.
Oh my goodness. Like, I'm not saying that there's not schools that are better than others. We actually made choices based on that. Like not everyone's, they're not all the same.
Cool. Oh, brother. Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff that you run into. And I'm like, hey, you don't even know me that well. Like, you don't know our whole situation. You don't know all the things I'm going through or having to consider for each and every one of my kids, what I'm having to go through for myself, for my husband. Like, you don't know all the ins and outs. You just don't.
No.
And after the experiences that we have had with Christian schools, the Bible colleges, like, I want nothing to do with them.
No.
Nothing.
I would say that in a lot of ways, probably in every way, public schools are, especially the one that you're sending your kids to, is safer than a small Christian school.
Oh, for sure.
There is the accountability, and like the teachers are held to much higher responsibility for their kids. Like it's not saying. Let me think. There's more protection. I feel like.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Well, okay, they're comparatively. So if we're talking Christian schools, and I don't mean like Catholic schools, okay? Because that actually to me is in a different category.
It is.
But the Christian schools that I've experienced did not have qualified teachers. They didn't have a degree. And if there might be one, and they carried the burden of making sure that like they were like the ones who had to basically teach the other teachers what to do.
Yeah.
So there is no, the qualifications are so poor.
Yeah.
As far as like their personal education as a teacher. They often went to these Bible colleges and got their teaching degree. With that, some did well still in spite of, but you could tell massive difference between teachers who were who had gone to a Christian college versus a state college. The difference was just astronomical. And they knew how to handle kids with like special needs, and would actually like know about resources and would at least be able to direct you.
Yeah, the resources.
But there's no resources.
No, they're not there, and I don't. I would, if you're wanting to be an educator for small children and all of that, I definitely would never recommend a Bible school. I honestly wouldn't ever recommend one of the Bible schools that I know for anything. But, that's just me. But probably more of what I'm saying is that, like, there's no cameras anywhere. It is always the student's word against the teacher. Like, if something happened, and there were several times that I ended up being the only person in the room with another teacher in Bible school, where they're talking to me about my grades or whatever it is that there was one time I was I had to stay behind and listen to a teacher tell me that my skirt was too short. And it was just like, and it was my word against the teachers. And so I feel like that there is just very little protection for the kids, and it is monitored better in a public school. It just is.
Well, when you're in a Christian school like the ones we have experienced, and you read their handbooks, which I have read many, because I was trying to look at all the options I had available to me, right?
Right.
Because there is a Christian school near us that would, I consider it still a part of the cult, because
most certainly is.
It's run by people from there.
Absolutely.
And the teachers are definitely part of it. Like, they're still in it.
Yeah.
It's a highly popular school because it has a sports program, which is a huge
people that
draw.
go to that school that I would not have my kids around their kids if you paid me. If you paid me a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. It's really sad because I know some of the people still there, and like some of them, they're just being sucked in.
Yeah.
But their dress code is heavy on the girls again. And like I read it and I was just like, I know that they're trying to make it easier for like community kids to come in because they can wear short sleeves. And the girls have to wear skirts, but it's like the wording around why, that's the kicker. And it's absolutely sexualization of girls. And that language of protection for the boys.
Yeah, in a uniform setting, a woman or a girl should get the same privileges as the boys, and pants are just more comfortable and a lot more modest.
They're more modest.
Absolutely. And that if the boys are going to be allowed to wear pants and sit with their feet up on the chair and all that, then the girls should be able to as well.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of them wear like those skirts with the leggings attached, which drive me crazy.
I literally we had a note sent home. It was to all the parents. It wasn't just to, but they said, parents, please make sure that your girl wears shorts underneath her skirt when they come to school. And please make sure that they're not the loose shorts. They're the shorts that are tight to their legs. So that there's no underwear. Like, I'm assuming there's like no underwear showing or anything like that. And I'm just like,
if they could wear a pair of pants, this wouldn't be an issue.
If they could wear pants, this would not be an issue. And it would be so much more modest. It would be so much more uniform. I mean, it is the dumbest rule that I personally do not like for even when the kids go to a school, for there to be a dress code of any kind. I understand like them having to have rules around like the shortness of short. You don't want your kids going to school in a bathing suit. It's not culturally acceptable. But
when I was first looking at the school where they're at, one of the first things I did was go look at the rules for clothes.
yeah,
I'm like, that to me will tell me everything I need to know about you.
yep, it sure will. It sure
Oh
will.
yeah, because I
And
know whether or not you're
anybody,
sexualizing kids.
if I went to if I looked at a public school and they promoted anything politically or church wise, like any church or whatever, I would be more prone not to send my kids to that school.
Yeah.
Then, because when you're dealing with education, it should not cross a certain line, and into the political or the religious world, in my opinion.
That's for like the parents to do.
Yeah, and those are decisions that the kids are going to have to make on their own as they get older. This is an academic mindset.
We're reading, writing, and arithmetic. We're not indoctrinating and
Exactly.
brainwashing certain beliefs.
And it's one of the reasons why I've never found a homeschool group as well for my kids to go to, because there is either dress code or there's political preference or there's, religious preference, and it's just like you get your kids into that kind of a group and they're going to be indoctrinated. They're going to be judged based on what I believe and not even themselves. It's just going to be about me and my decisions and the things that I choose to talk about to the parents and all that kind of stuff. So I literally, I just stay away from it, but there's very few groups that stay away that separate the academic and the other things. And I remember going to a school where there was no uniforms, but there was very strict rules around like the girls and the boys dress, and it was all on the girls.
Yeah.
So the jean skirts could not have front zippers like a fly or back pockets.
What?
And you couldn't wear any words on your shirt at all. Like you couldn't have any hoodies that had like your favorite basketball team or anything. It had to be like plain.
Wasn't that a Bible school rule too?
Yeah. Yeah, you couldn't have like characters. I remember I think somebody wore a Mickey Mouse shirt or something like that, and
like you couldn't have any printed words.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah. You could have pictures as long as they were like not there. Yeah.
They had to be appropriate. What you know,
appropriate photos. Yes, I remember even one of my friends getting in trouble when I was in high school for bringing an IBC root beer bottle for their lunch.
Oh.
And the scripture that they were given was, the appearance of evil.
Avoid the appearance of evil. Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking about, yes, indoctrination. I know we've strayed a little bit from all of that, but I'm curious to know, like, what are your top 2 behavior patterns? I don't know if patterns is the right word, but things that other people do that made you realize that you had to be done. Like,
that's actually, well, I have one in particular. It's pretty easy, and that's the ability to take accountability.
That is so huge, Sarah.
Like there's people like that, and this is really common, but like when you tell people that you experienced something that hurt you, whether that was their intention or not, how they respond to that tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid that they would just be adults and accept their actions.
Because like so many of them can't get the past, well, I didn't mean to, so therefore the problem is you. Well, you're sensitive, or you're just making things up, or so a lack of accountability, like which is rampant just in the system.
It is.
And then I don't know how else, because I clock people, like when they start talking, how they talk about other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like whether it's because you can talk about other people, it's how they talk about other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I guess just add a third, because it's a really also big one for me, is if something happens, like the tea gets spilled or there's gossip or something,
Mm-hmm.
and this is definitely just because of this is not just a one-time thing for me, like this is ongoing throughout my life.
Yeah.
When something happens and people spread rumors about me, or they have questions about why I've done something, whether or not they ask me about what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one too.
Because if you can't ask me about what's going on, you don't want to know the truth.
Uh-uh. They're
It may not even
uncomfortable.
be any of your business.
Right.
Probably isn't. But if you don't know me well enough to
Yeah.
know that I wouldn't do something harmful to another person, I just don't. If I have to make a decision that someone else doesn't like, it makes them uncomfortable, and they're like, this hurts, and you don't
Yeah.
ask me about it. Like, why did you do that to so and so?
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't do that to so and so. Maybe
Exactly. Get
the person
your
said I
side.
had to walk away from so and so.
Right. Get your side of the situation. That's
Like,
probably one of the bigger ones for me
yeah.
is that when I've been faced with like there was a situation, and this is the only way I know how is just like the stories, because I'm
Mhm.
big about telling stories. And so there was a
Yeah.
situation where someone very close to me heard something about me,
Yeah.
and their first response, and this has always been the way they have done this, and
Mhm.
I finally, the last time they did it, I finally was just like, this is their MO. Is that the word? Is that
Yeah.
the
Mode
this
of
is
operation.
what
Modus operandus.
they do when
Yeah.
you just automatically assume that this is what I did, and they're not interested at all. They call me up and immediately out of the gate, why did you do this and this and this? Don't you understand that blah 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 blah? I mean, they're treating me as though I did that exactly the way they heard that I did that. They're
Yeah.
not interested in hearing my side of the story. Probably their family is on the other end listening to them. So they're like the big bad person who's going to
Yeah.
confront this person and let them know how wrong they are. And so they're being looked at, and they're kind of getting some kind of a dopamine hit of some kind from being this confrontational like person to me. They're getting some kind of like satisfaction from
It's a supply.
yeah, from treating me this way.
Yeah.
And every time they've done this, it is about something that is absolutely none of their business.
Mhm.
And it's actually exactly what I told them the last time that they called and confronted me about something. They had heard it secondhand. And when they called me, they were not interested at all in getting my side of the story. And I finally just let them know, I'm not able to talk about this right now. And even if I was, I wouldn't share anything with you because it's none of your business. And
Yeah.
that was it.
Well, people who are just like willing to believe the worst about you
Yes.
without ever talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
without ever even attempting to be like, hey, this doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense with the character that I know of you.
Right.
So either you don't know me well and you're just willing to believe whatever. Like, people who are just willing to believe the worst about you without ever hearing your side,
Yeah.
like,
And the thing is,
who don't even know you well. And they're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Well, even the people who think they know you well,
yeah.
they have never given you the benefit of the doubt, even though you have never shown any signs of wanting to hurt anyone. Like with your words, with your actions, you have been so beat down your whole entire life, and not to ever rise up against that.
Yep.
Even if you ever did rise up against it, you were the first one to return and say, I'm sorry. Like that is like you were the first one to return and own your shit. That
Yeah.
is like your MO. That is, I know that's been mine throughout the whole history of me being, and I know that a lot of times I did it just to get their favor back. And it's just,
Well,
I am still
our
not given the
entire
benefit of the doubt.
yeah, our entire personality was fawning to other people's responses. Like we were fawning
Absolutely.
constantly so that we wouldn't face their wrath if you went against
Absolutely.
them. Because you can't call out what you're seeing without like paying for it. And I mean,
Exactly.
that's literally what's happening to me now. Like, because
Yeah,
like I won't just say, I won't pretend like everything's okay when it's not. And you
exactly.
can't do that in these systems with these kind of people. You
No,
can't.
no. Because the thing is that if you express your opinion and it is different from what they believe, in order to get back in their favor, at least in my experience, you have to return and say, okay, you were right and I was wrong, regardless of whether or not you feel like you were wrong or not. You
Yeah.
have to say, I get it, I understand, and you were right, and then everything goes back to the way that it was. And it was just recently that I realized I'm not going to do that anymore. There's
No.
absolutely no,
Well,
because
there's
it
no
takes
binary.
your
It's so
identity
binary.
again.
There's well for them it's all black and white. There's no gray area. And there's no like, hey, I was wrong here and a little right here, and you were right here and a little wrong here. There's no like give and take. It's either you're completely wrong or you're completely right, and they care more about being right than being Christ-like or loving or
Right.
kind or having the fruit of the spirit. And so when you say that this is what you're all about, but all your words and actions are literally the opposite and quite demonic, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's your clue.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And
so
so
how do
I
you
can,
how do you know when to leave? Well,
yeah, I think that is like the biggest one for me is like
yeah,
never being given the benefit of the doubt, even though I was not the deviant one.
right.
Very rarely, but I am seen as the deviant one. Um, I am seen as the one who doesn't fight fair. I was just told that recently. Yeah, and yet I am the one usually the way I see it. They might see it differently. They might remember it differently, but I'm the one that usually returns to try to make amends with people. And so it's just, but I'm done doing that. So if they hear it, then I hope they realize I'm done. This last thing that happened, and I know we weren't going to talk about it, um, made me realize how done I am because
Well,
it's
because you can never win.
no,
There's
I'm
no
never
winning.
going to win.
No.
I'm never going to be seen as an equal to them. I'm always going to be seen as somebody that is beneath them in some way, and I've always been treated that way, and will always be treated that way.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to interpret or set an example for my kids that that's okay, because I lose so much value when I'm around those kinds of people. And when you lose value, you kind of shrink. Like I can feel that pull back into a dark place.
Yeah.
And I've got an example to my kids that that's not okay. All right. So we need
I
to
know.
wrap
We
up.
have to wrap up. I know you have things coming at you as we speak. So not just kids, not just kids. But at any rate, I think it was a good conversation. I just want to leave with like some of the questions to ask if you're wondering and you're in a situation that you're just wondering. And that is, what is the cost of staying? How is it affecting you, your kids, your family? What benefits are there for you to stay? Who does it benefit? Who benefits by your silence and by you staying?
Yeah.
And if it's not at least a mutual benefit, if there's an imbalance there, obviously that's up to you to discern how much you're willing to take.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, and what would the benefit be of going? Like, how do you feel when you think about just being away?
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not, like that release and that's not going to happen overnight. If you're not benefiting and they're not benefiting, then you really need to assess, is this
It needs to be
relationship
mutual.
worth continuing? Yeah.
Because it's not, some people I think confuse this with selfishness, like that you get a benefit. No, if you're not benefiting in some way, then you're just being depleted and taken from and taken advantage of and being manipulated and used.
Yeah. If there's only one side that benefits, then yeah, there. I mean, I would say even I already know. I'm 46 years old. I've known these people my whole life. I already know what the response is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's sort of where I am. And it's okay. Like, I'm not being selfish to say that at all. I am protecting myself, but more than anything, I feel like I'm protecting my children. I am setting an example for my children, and they do not have to be treated this way. Nobody.
Yeah. Well, you can't argue with people committed to misunderstanding you and turning you into the villain, and they're the victim. That's their main goal.
That's right.
You can't argue with them.
Nope. You really can't.
So, anyways, we'll wrap it up for today. I know we've got to run, so we'll see y'all next week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Bye. You've been listening on the party line to I'm on the Phone podcast with Sarah and Christy. Join us again next week for more stories about our pre, post, and mid-culty life. Thanks for listening.